certainly, and it's actually going to be the first ban from compLexity is rapid fire. One characteristic from them is typically they like to get aggressive with the bans right off the bat. A protect of the VMP wanted to ensure that that submachine gun is ready to go for Looney alongside Slacked in this game, not wanting to have to go up against the Kudas of compLexity. Parasite now up. Typically, we've seen him in the past protect the likes of a concussion to try to keep a tactical in play. This time, though, we'll go after that specialist ability in Heatwave.
So it's interesting you see Slacked protect the VMP. When I was in Australia, we saw a lot of Kuda bans and VMP bans.
Yeah.
A lot of action around the SMGs. So I wonder if the meta will kind of go that way in North America, where players try and get one of the other team's favorite submachine guns out of the game.
Oh, most certainly is something that we've seen contested more and more, even down to like the Man of War. The AR is very heavily contested.
Man of War's been banned out, I would say, more than the M8.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Over the last 2 weeks, TK kind of led that charge, and other teams have picked up on it, especially with the maps we saw last night. Even tonight, evac twice in the respawns. Man of War is just the weapon you want to have on a map like this. There was your ban and protect. Now into the specialist draft. Looks like mostly normal things. You're going to see kinetic armors, scythes, maybe Purifier on each side.
I think you'll see a Purifier. With Heatwave gone, I think it'll just be kinetic and camo, and then
a 2-2
scythe
split
and Purifier. I think that makes a lot of sense. The Purifier is really good in this map.
Oh, yeah. It absolutely shreds. There's the camo from Looney. Parasite, wouldn't be surprised to actually see him pick camo himself. That is exactly what he'll do. Octane, you expect him to go with the likes of a Scythe. Ricky, Purifier, and there you go.
Classic, I think, will run the Purifier for Rise, and then Mir should go Kinetic. So there's a Kinetic. Classic could go Tempest if he wanted to, but I think the Purifier, you get a lot more use in this map. Probably.
Yeah, especially in that kitchen hardpoint, can also be very useful bottom class. And great minds think alike. It's a mirror matchup between the two teams to kick off the first matchup of the evening. Now remember, most times on these nights, we start a little bit early over here, 4 matches. The secondary stream kicks off a little bit late. Secondary stream already live with their first match.
I think
they're
already into the first game.
Yeah, they're loading on in, so be sure to get 2 tabs open, watch both streams.
Yep. You can mute that one. Maven's all right, but I'd much rather listen over here.
That's fine. That's exactly how we want to sell it, I think. But either way, guys, I want to hear your thoughts on Twitter. We've been saying this a lot. We've been seeing so much love from everybody in regards to sending in their thoughts. Tweet them at MattMrX, at CourageJD. Who is your Stage 1 MVP? Use the hashtag CWLPS4. Matt, I'm gonna pose a question right to you. Who would you have to pick?
Well, it's hard not to take somebody on Optic Gaming.
Okay.
I would kind of formal scump. It's like a toss-up.
Yeah.
But I think let's just get further down the list. We talk about Optic Gaming so much. I think we should probably give some other players some love. I would say like Looney. Like Looney's been huge for Rise during Stage 1. I think Attach has been massive for FaZe. Like there's a team that kind of went up and down, and then I know, is Elevate like a surprise, like being that high up, like in the top 4? Like I thought they were gonna be like a 4 or 5 team, but I think some people probably out there surprised. I think one of their guys would definitely have to be in the consideration. I think Aqua's had a fantastic Stage 1.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you on that one. What it is about that team is they always have each other's backs, right? They joke around a lot. They know they've been playing together forever. It feels like they've performed very well on the biggest stages in the past. Now transferring over to COD World League Stage 1. For me, we just saw Luminosity get into the top 8. If I had to pick, I think you can make a case for like the likes of Saints, maybe even John as well. It's a little bit more of a stretch, but I'm looking at the whole top 8 here, Matt, not just the top few teams, not the top echelon.
Have you ever watched sports? Like it usually comes from the top echelon teams.
I don't want to hear it. Your logic is not welcome here.
That'd be like, I don't know, it's like the Celtics have a top 4 seed in the East.
The Lakers this year, Kobe is wins MVP.
Like Damian Lillard getting the MVP on 8th place Portland, who's going to lose round 1. Anyway, I think Damian Lillard is an amazing player, by the way. I hope he comes to the Lakers one day. Evac Hardpoint.
I have no idea what's going on.
Hill number 2. It's going to be one you can do a lot of damage with the Purifier on. Look for the likes of Classic and Ricky do a lot of work in that one.
Afterburner makes it through as well. Definitely going to be seeing players utilize that one. And this is a conversation we had yesterday. On a map like Breach Hardpoint, I get the same vibe from evac as well. Trophies can be so well used on a map like this. Do you think that a good trophy placement can outweigh having to use Flak Jacket on this map?
Yeah, no doubt. Something I saw in Australia, they were actually banning trophies.
I can't believe we don't see it more often.
Or they would ban EMPs.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
I can't believe we don't see it more often off the start. We're going to watch Nameless. He's got the Man of War in hand, and he's going to get right towards the top blue tarp. Thankfully for him, there's going to be no flank coming in, so he should have a pure engagement there, but he loses that first one to Octane from Rization. Looks like Octane's going to pick up a 3-piece in the hard point off the break, and we mentioned how he's just been so solid through all of stage 1. It's for reasons like that. He gets the kill on the opposing AR, knows to get aggressive into the hard point, and now he's playing the hill, already on a 5 streak. One more kill for the Lightning, gets it with the Hellstorm. What a start from Octane on Rization.
And this is why we highlighted him before the match.
How he's still alive?
I don't know. Finally, he's going to get taken down by Parasite as Parasite picks up 2, but a fantastic start for Rise. You're going to get streaks on Octane. That's going to be big going into that third hardpoint.
Pretty crazy to see Octane, already 6-1 Looney, yet to get a kill. Parasite with 2 players on the screen near Big Door will just play his life. Nice flank coming in from Miracles. He completely catches the opposing players off guards. He's got the spawns now for his team, but he's got some crucial engagements coming in towards bottom kitchen. And as I say that, it's Classic that gets the better of him there. He's already inside this next hard point as Rise can
how
control.
far are we from AR players on their respective teams for convincing their teammates to get rid of stock? We've seen stock SMG's been huge over the last few weeks.
Massive, and it just makes the strafing of the sub players so darn good. It's so potent to just use that as that extra movement, and oh, that unfortunate timing. Classic turns around, but Parasite falls off the map. Oh, he was going for the outer wall run, and he accidentally fell. That's going to stop the complexity push in its tracks. 30-second lead now for Rise. You see Slack poke out for a second. Octane still with his streaks ready to go. Complexity look like they'll have the muscle in towards the hard point. Looney can't win the double trade. Now Nameless finds himself in the hill with that Man of War, and this is the weapon map that I've just become
yeah, but look
to
at
love.
This. It's 19 seconds left.
Definitely.
The Rise is a pretty nice lead. They're spawning out. They could easily rotate here, and you see Nameless wins a big gunfight there against Slack, because Slack would have ended up getting the garbage time, and then his teammates on the rotation probably pick up these kills. You see Looney's going to pick up 1 on the rotation. Ricky's got a lot of players converging on him in Classic. Always in a great position. He's one of my favorite players to watch.
Yeah.
Like, we hyped him up at the beginning of stage 1, and people were probably kind of confused, like, why? Like, the guy's always around even. Like, I mean, Uplink, the guy is amazing with the drone in his hands. Hardpoint, always in the right positions. A lot like Karma. I don't think he gets a lot of credit for his positioning. Like, Karma's always the first on rotation, you know, picking up big gunfights.
Yeah.
Classic does a lot of the same for Rise Nation. I think he's a big part of this team.
Oh, for sure. And one thing I want to point out is Parasite's class at the moment actually using Fast Mag's laser sight on his VMP. How do you feel about that one? And is it just kind of more of personal preference for him to use something like that on a map like this?
Yeah, it might be. It seems like he has stock on it too. So
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's customized, so he probably has another one on
So
it.
no nades either, so he definitely is. This is attachment heavy right now with his VMP.
I mean, if there's going to be no nades in the game and you're not worried about it, why not go attachment heavy on your weapon?
Oh, for sure. I mean, on a map like this, Man of War is the one that really made the case for it. We saw the likes of Chino and Sender be the ones to start the whole 2-perk Man of War, where you just put 98 attachments on it and the thing shoots 10
Yeah,
shots.
they pretty much run Fast Hands and then Blast Suppressor and then just all their attachments on the Man of War. Parasite's class is pretty similar. He's just running Flak, so no Afterburner, just going to run Flak Jacket and then all those attachments. And you see he's going to lose a gunfight to Octane. Classic inside the hill. Octane in the kill feed, though, picking up another with the M8. And, you know, complexity able to make a comeback on that third hardpoint. I believe Octane even used a streak, and they were still able to hold it. So, pretty nice, you know, third hardpoint.
Look at this play right now.
But you see Classic getting really aggressive around the corner, not able to pick up another one. You see the kinetic armor Miracles used to take out Octane up top. Now Nameless with the Man of War needs to get in good position, try and pick up some kills for his teammates down under.
This weapon just shreds opponents, but from a range like that, Octane's M8 is just a little bit better. Beautiful headshot. As he pushes towards the hard point, he'll bait himself out for Classic to get that entry kill. Classic having a monster game right now, 14-12 on a 2 streak, leading his team in time and hill as well. And if you didn't get to watch yesterday, you haven't seen competitive Call of Duty since the patch that came out this past week. You can see the yellow specialist meters ready to go in the top right of that scoreboard. That shows which players can use their specialist ability. Purifier ready for Classic. He picks up another 2-point piece inside the hard point, and now it's sight time from Nameless.
Yeah, and this is a great spot to use the sight. You get in the big door, you're able to pick the players up on the catwalk, but Octane takes him out with a few nice placed M8 shots. And you see there's a player for Rise just kind of coming down the stairs. That's going to be slacked, but Ricky, he has his Purifier, and Classic has his Purifier. Going into this next hill, it's going to be big for one of those players. Whoever gets control first should be able to lock it down.
Most certainly, as the rotation comes on in, Slack going to give it one last challenge. He loses that gun engagement. Looney now in the back of the spawn, spots Nameless pushing through big door. He gets the first kill he needs to, challenges the second player in the hard point. He knows he's got teammates here now with him, lets him get a little bit more aggressive when peeking on out. someone down in the water as well. There's going to be 3 players stacking this backside for compLexity. What do you think about this decision to flank all the way around helipad?
Yeah, they're going to play for these spawns all the way in the back. They're going to give Rise the hill at the beginning and then try and fight it from those favorable positions, trying to control the spawns. And see Classic, though, picking up kills on this side of the map. They know exactly where that last player, Parasite, was. And they're going to be able to take everyone out on compLexity. And now compLexity trying to push into the hill from that outer wall run in straight through apartments and is not working out. You see 3 dead, 4 Cole. I think they probably should have committed to playing for those spawns. They had a little bit of a lead. Now it looks like it's going to be Rise Nation taking a big one here as they're going to get most of this hill.
That was the first kill in the last 10 engagements that compLexity wound up getting. That one gunfight win from Parasite. Luna getting a little bit aggressive towards middle map, will get taken down, but so far this hill has been all Rise Nation from start to this point. Slack with the 2-piece help from Looney.
And they haven't even had to use the Purifier.
Yeah, they still have every specialist that they started this hardpoint with. Great stuff from Rise. They brought themselves back into the lead. A lower wall run hit from Slack. He's been spotted, can't get the kill on the Miracles, and now it's compLexity's turn to rotate early and lock down this AC hardpoint.
That is one of the harder gunfights to win. When you are slacked and you're on that bottom wall run, there's a guy above you. That is one where you're not going to win that one many times. Miracles putting down some nice shots on the Classic. Now you see the streaks coming in for Rise Nation. That's going to be the lightning strike of Octane. It's still going to be the hill controlled by compLexity, but it just lets the guys on Rise get close enough, and that was a big gunfight. Slack wins onto Nameless right there.
Right here.
No, you don't have anyone really pushing very fast. Now Miracles knows, but I mean, he's in a great spot. He's got teammates coming from his backside, so they're able to watch that.
Look at the
knows
confidence.
Exactly where these players would come from. He's going to challenge this next one. Slack's going to come out, slide around the corner, take him out, but it's still going to be compLexity in control of this hill. Fantastic hill number 3, yet again out of the guys on compLexity.
Such an even match to start off the day. The 2 teams within seconds of each other. Another lead change back over to compLexity. Once again, Rise Nation on this early rotation as they were kind of forced all the way out with the spawns. First engagement going down. Looney playing that close quarter. Love that decision near that L bend. Will get that first kill. Octane with the sight. He's got 1 player pushing on up. That's a 2-piece there. Beautiful stuff to hold off the first push of compLexity. Rise still holding on up. They've got a Purifier in the hardpoint as well from Classic. That specialist is now gone, and as I mentioned, his Purifier, Ricky brings one out himself, but he gets taken down. Nice use of kinetic armor from Slack as well. 27 and 18. Slack, an MVP-type performance in Game 1.
Well, that's when you want to use kinetic. It was a perfect situation. Last guy in the hill. They didn't know where you were. You see a camo coming in, I believe. That was on the side of Rise Nation as well, so they're going to use 2 abilities on this hill. Slack wins 2 big gunfights, and you see it's going to be Miracles, the only one up, as he takes out 2 players, now gets back into the hill.
Look at the specialist
plays by a lot of the guys on Cole.
6 specialists, Matt, used for this bottom glass hardpoint. I mean, what was the thought process? Is that how important these teams weigh this hill?
I mean, I think at this moment in time, with the score the way it is, I think you did. But now, I mean, you probably wish you would have at least one of those for the second hardpoint if you don't get control of it early. I think it's going to be huge. Rise, they rotate early to that 4th and final hardpoint. They don't win it. compLexity actually takes most of the time there.
Wow.
If Rise actually rotates early, gets control of the second one with no ability, so they should be able to hold it down as long as they get control of that helipad in the back.
You can see Octane getting work done with the stock submachine gun. Players have been favoring the use of stock on their subs in the last few weeks. It is just such a strong attachment, and you've seen the teams who really don't have all players on board with using it. It's kind of an internal battle, right? TK it was one of them where some of their players like using stock on their sub, others don't, so they're having to decide, you know, what is their team wanting to do. Rise Nation, very big fans of stock subs. They love to use it, but at the same time, they recognize where if they ban stock, that hurts the ARs of the other team even more and lets Octane really take over.
And now it also hurts sub players as well.
Yep. It's just kind of, it's the best of both worlds for Rise, and that goes back to how versatile of a team they really are, Matt.
Yeah, and I think that's why they are one of the more consistent, well-rounded teams that we have in the Pro Division North America. It doesn't matter really what you ban out against them. You kind of look at them kind of like Elevate, where Elevate can do... Like, I feel like Rise is just a more slaying power version of Elevate, right?
I can definitely hear you on that one. Flank does come on in. Nameless watching his teammates back. Miracle's doing a fantastic job of just jiggle peeking this wall, taking down the pressure from Top Kitchen, and what was a 40-second lead is now down to just 10. Matt, this is looking like another Kitchen hardpoint hold for one of these teams. Last time it was Rise. This time it's compLexity. One final push coming in. Entry kills come in from Octane. Slack is there to help, but Parasite with the final 2-piece. compLexity will take the lead.
I mean, just look at where the Cole guys were spawning up. Always at helipad. Rise just gave up playing for the spawns, and compLexity held it down. They were able to just keep flooding into that hardpoint as players were taken out. And now you see it's going to be Rise set up for that third hardpoint. And the Scythe of Nameless up top. He picked up one with the Man of War, then with the Scythe, he's going to push down into that hardpoint area. It's going to get taken out by Looney, but this is huge. This is a hardpoint that compLexity has held every single time in this matchup thus far.
Nicely done.
But look at the spawns coming in. It's going to be a split spawn for Cole. So if they start picking up these kills, you're going to see Rise spawn very far away.
Looney uses camo to take down the Scythe. Now the pressure coming in. Smokes have been brought out by Cole. He spots one down low. Will go for the challenge. 3 kills in favor of Rise Nation, and they spot the 4th as well. Rise now within 8 seconds of winning this game. One final push is all compLexity has. Classic watching over. Slack gets 2. Oh, Matt, this is looking like it's a slaughter on the final hard point. Rise Nation take it 250 to 225 off the backs of the submachine guns on that final hill. What a performance from Slack. 38 and 28, 143 in the hill, and 11 defense.
And what I love about how Rise played it is they never got like nervous or frantic to the point where they pushed for a garbage time when the game was going to get
That's
close.
a great point.
They gave compLexity, the garbage time. They gave them a few point lead, and they rotated and trusted themselves eventually to win some gunfights.
Yeah.
And with a team as talented as Rise Nation, that's going to happen. Eventually, they're going to get hot, win some gunfights. You play, I don't want to say like the way you're supposed to, but you kind of do. I mean, you rotate early, you give up when you need to. You got to trust your skill, and Rise Nation does it. Takes game 1.
For sure. I got to give a shout out to Looney's camo play on the rotation towards that final hard point. You saw Nameless flying out of kitchen, multiple compLexity players pushing up. Looney pops camo, positions himself behind the opposing players, gets one, weakens another, Slack cleans him up, and then Looney kills the camo player of Cole in the hard point. Once he did that,
big play.
all of compLexity spawned out. Play of the game for me, for sure. Big win for Rise Nation, as we always talk about their S&D game, how it's weak.
This has
been their saving grace. They keep winning hardpoint, so that even if they lose the S&D game 2, they can win 3 and 4 and take a series.
If they would win their game 2s consistently,
this team would have the most 3-0s in the league.
Probably. And take a look at the after-action report. Like we talked about, Slack with a big game, 38 and 28. Looney did some nice things in situational play. So Octane got off to a great start, slow down towards the end, and then the side of Cole, Miracles puts up a good game, 35 and 32. We saw Nameless do some nice things. Just it was a pretty even game. I mean, it's just that last hill. That's really where it came down to. compLexity just didn't win the gunfights.
There wasn't an outlier in that game. They said, "Oh, this, it was this guy's fault, or this person didn't step up." Everyone in the lobby over a minute in the hard point. Everyone getting near 30 kills for their team. Just a very even match, and it really just came down to one great specialist use by Looney, which gave Rise the spawns and the hardpoint control, and they didn't look back from there as they take that first game by a 25-point margin as we head into Hunted S&D.
I'm excited to see how this Rise Nation team looks in Search and Destroy. And that's really the big question for me going into Stage 1 playoffs, Stage 1 finals with them, is what happens in Search and Destroy. Like, if this team can win their S&Ds, I feel confident about them in any series.
Yep.
It's just, we have not seen it on a consistent basis yet.
I will tell you right now, I actually couldn't be more excited for the map we're about to see these two teams play on. We're going to be going into Hunted S&D, and they have 2 of the most unique types of setups between compLexity and Rise. Rise, all about having Octane hold by himself on B, while Ricky plays a similar role for his team on that map as well, where he's kind of the guy with the AR getting the entry kills. Watch for that to be the battle that goes back and forth this whole game.
Yeah, Octane loves to bring the sniper rifle over to the B side.
Yep.
So I think compLexity, if they want to take advantage, they could do something with the SVG in the Ban and Protect.
Okay.
But speaking of Maven a little bit yesterday, kind of thinking on all of my long flights coming back from Australia, it's like with so many snipers viable, I feel like you just waste a vote getting rid of one. Well, like, I feel like it's just like you might as well get rid of overkill. Like, I think the way to get rid of snipers is to just get rid of overkill and like force them to run a sidearm. I mean, the pistols aren't as powerful as they once were. I think that's probably the best way to limit sniper play, because you get rid of the SVG, somebody just use a Locust or a PO6. We've seen a Drakon now. It's not really an issue. You get rid of thermal. Okay, a lot of people go to the Varix. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I think overkill is the way to go.
We're at the point now in the COD World League where I can think of every team sniper, every team sniper that has used one of the lesser ones under the
Right.
SVG, right? The Locust, the Draken, even
With
the
overkill,
PO6.
it doesn't hurt. With overkill, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
You get rid of the SVG, and overkill's still in the game. It doesn't affect anything.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Because for the most part, when teams are trying to peek against snipers, all that can be seen is their upper body. Every sniper still rips right through you in 1 to 2 shots. And with the accuracy that these pro players have, we saw attached to it, Breach playing top green, where typically it's very tough to get these kills, just melting people with the Draken. The guy's a legend for what he's been able to do so far in stage 1 with the sniper rifle. Phase elevate tonight.
Even some stuff that's
it's gonna be nuts.
Odd throughout like stage 1. I was thinking about like we've seen like overclock get banned, afterburner get banned, and then we see like a perk 1 greed ban. It's like you might as well leave everything in and just get rid of perk 1 greed.
Yeah.
Because then you think each person has like 5 classes. You can't really recreate all of your classes with a flak, overclock, afterburner, like kind of same set. And then that really kind of screws the other team. I think that would be the way to go.
Don't get Revan started with that whole perk 1 greed thing, because he gets excited when he sees it, but then when a team does it at the wrong time, like you just mentioned, Revan actually gets angry. He can't take it, because if you think of it from a perspective where it's like, okay, you just banned out the two of the 3 perks people use in perk 1, now you're banning perk 1 greed. That does nothing.
I mean, essentially, right, you could kind of take over a game in essence if you banned trophies and then immediately ban perk 1 greed. And then that kind of like forces them, like what are they going to do? Like they have to run flak on everything.
Yesterday we saw...
You can't run afterburner, you can't run overclock.
Yesterday we saw it a lot. That's why the War Machine was brought out so much yesterday. It was
really?
Like, yeah, we had War Machine in 3 or 4 maps.
Were they getting rid of trophies as well?
No, what it wound up being was overclock would be protected. So then, afterburner would be protected. So they would ban out overclock and then ban perk 1 greed. So it's like, okay, you're either using flak jacket or afterburner, and to keep them in check, teams would just bring out the War Machine, and it was actually used to win games. Last night, Shiva ban, rapid fire ban, and blast suppressor ban from Ricky.
Yeah, compLexity likes to do that on Search and Destroy.
Okay.
We've seen them do it on evac a lot. Not seen anyone do it on hunted, so a little bit of a different setup. You're going to see flashes and stuns both go, which we see quite frequently. Nice. Assume high caliber goes soon as well. There you see overclock go out of the game, and once rapid fire goes, you got to assume high caliber's going with it, and there's a high caliber ban.
There it goes. And to finish things out, overdrive is a popular ban on a map like this because of how much ground you can cover.
Yeah, there are some maps I like overdrive on a lot for S&D. This is one of them. I think you can really use it offensively and defensively, and you're going to see smokes go. So no action with the snipers from either side. I mean, you didn't expect that out of Rise, but nothing on the compLexity side in terms of snipers. And you get rid of the tacticals. It makes it harder to just kind of rush those players as well.
Yeah, the smoke ban definitely going to hurt at times in regards to trying to push down the likes of the B bridge to cut down that range that Octane has to view. Vision pulse from Ricky. Octane goes to the Psychosis. Surprised to see that. He's changed. That's a change since the last time I've seen him play this map. Typically, he would be Vision Pulse, set up with trophies.
Yeah, I've seen him Vision Pulse all the time.
And a sniper near that B cave. This time, though, goes with Psychosis. Nameless follows up with a Psychosis of his own as well.
Well, people kind of caught on to what he does over at the B-bomb site. Could potentially, change things up a little bit. Maybe try and snipe mid. See a lot of players do that. I mean, Heat Wave from Looney at the end. So we're going to have no overdrive on the side of Rise. Parasite's going to go active camo, so no overdrive on either team.
Does this strike you as possibly a decision just for the likes of compLexity? Because we see Ricky, he's one of the better Ricky and Sender are the 2 players that stand out in regards to getting picks in that B cave. Maybe they don't want to put as much pressure on Octane. Maybe they'll change their style up just for this match, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility. I think even something where Octane's going to go over to the B site and throw trophies down. Get rid of trophies and just nade it out.
Okay, definitely something that's possible. Just force them back.
You can nade it from water. You could jump right into the water out of Tiki Hut and just kind of force them back with nades.
Definitely.
You had a danger close class under there. You just kind of throw 2, I don't want to say dead grenades, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like just 2 frags that aren't cooked.
It's just a zone.
And it just zones them all the way out of the cave, and then you just walk up and put the bomb right down.
That's a question I want to bring up with you really quick, because I mentioned how they kind of changed their playstyle maybe for this matchup, if that's something they did.
Yeah.
Was that something you wound up doing when you coached compLexity? Did you guys look into teams, or was it more just let's play our style and just beat them out in our pure skill?
Yeah, no, we looked into teams. Even I can remember exactly Cole, TK, NA Regionals Ghost.
Okay. Way back.
Before, yeah, and that was like I wasn't really allowed to kind of be up there, but we had talked about it before the match. We knew Octane Search and Destroy was going to be in there. We knew Formal played over in the club, like in the bottom with the sniper.
Yeah.
In every round, it was like Pat, or somebody go out of the bottom gas station, stun the door, and run right at him. And we killed him every time. And then he, at that point, Formal was so new to Call of Duty, he didn't really know, where to go other than the sniper rifle. And then eventually he just started, running out into the middle of the map with, a Vesper just trying to kill people. And we were able to take over a game that way. So you definitely, change things up depending on teams.
I have a feeling now that I don't know if that would work as well against Formal.
No, probably not. No.
And how much COD
he's a little bit more
of an experienced player.
Experienced now, yeah. Then it was let's take advantage of the new guy.
He has no idea. Guys,
let's just throw a bunch of stuns at him.
I get told
and
to go to this spot with a sniper and shoot things. When I can't do that, what do I do?
Yeah.
That was his mindset back then.
I mean, when you know where one player plays, you can kind of come up with strategies to take that player out. Be extremely effective. The spot we've been talking about the entire time is over at that B bomb site.
Yep.
It's going to be the site that you're going to see a lot of action on during this game.
It's something that you expect to see. If there's a team that knows how their opponents play, it is compLexity. We've seen them adapt so well in recent matches. Now going into this one, they're down 0-1, but the amount of times we've said this with compLexity, where they're down because they lost a Hardpoint, then they win the S&D, they somehow either take Uplink or CTF and then force the Game 5 just to win the series, is way more than you'd think. 6 to 7 games so far in Stage 1. Off to start, I'm going to swap through Rise Nation. We do have a sniper in the back pocket of Octane, so that's a green light for me to watch him as he begins to push towards this B site. And look at the play from compLexity right now. They have a 3-man stack going towards A.
And you see actually on the
recon
side
sniper.
of compLexity, it's going to be Parasite with a sniper rifle in his hands as well.
They've given up B. I mean, okay, so looks like this is how they've changed things, Matt. They just decided B site is not an area we want to go to.
Which is very interesting. It looks like
Parasite got first blood.
You're going to see the bomb go down. Now the guys on compLexity just work their way across the map.
I love this because look, they're eliminating every possible area where their opponents could be. They now have full peace of mind that there's either someone laying in the water or they're all in the B cave. EMP check goes out. Ricky clears this one right side.
It's great to know. How do you break into the B cave?
Well, here we're about to get a lesson from our professors in compLexity. And as I say that, Classic pushes out to one side. Nameless on the flank. He gets one now at 2-on-2. Still pressure in the water from both players of Rise Nation. Octane peeks up. He challenges. He gets one. Ricky picks up both, though. But it's not going to be enough time to go for the defuse. So that crazy flank all the way from A-Mat, while they had good intentions with it, it took them so long to eliminate the spots on the map that when it came down to it, they just didn't have enough time.
Well, there's actually so many spots to hide in the middle of the map that they were so cautious to cross all the way through.
Yeah.
Because the guy could have played in water on either side, jumped up, you can play behind that hut, you can play inside Tiki Hut, you can play inside lobby, you could play over on the back rocks.
Such a big map.
There's so many different spots they could have watched mid from that they had so much caution crossing it that just ended up wasting a lot of time.
Well, off the start of this one, Parasite, he's got that overkill sniper, and it looks like, again, compLexity will favor this A side. Now, though, he swaps back over towards an M8. Looney going to be the first one charging up, and he gets caught throwing a nade. Kind of a reckless move right there. Ricky punishes him for it as compLexity strike first blood yet again.
Can they make anything out of it, though? I mean, they struck first blood last round. They ended up losing it. This time, they're going to go over to that B site, and it seems like Rise is giving it up, which is quite odd. Usually you see Octane playing it all the time. Probably rotates out, plays a little bit closer to his teammates as they're going to play for a retake. And with this plant, and because Ricky stayed alive last round, he should be able to get an HC out of this. So, yep, he's going to earn himself an HC, only 200 away from a dart.
This compLexity, this is a round that you should easily be able to take. Ricky going to begin to push out. There's a sniper now peeking from Rise. Will miss that first shot. Parasite cleans up one. Going to be a 2v4. Classic now in the tough spot, having to push towards his back bridge area. Miracles takes him down. Octane in the 1v4. He gets one kill onto Ricky. He doesn't check his left corner. And Nameless takes him down. compLexity, this time they get first blood and they close out the round.
Those are two great corners to sit in. The one that Nameless was in, then Ricky as well. You're able to just kind of cross players as they come down that cave, and you see this is a pretty easy kill after Octane picked up Ricky with the sniper rifle. So compLexity going to tie it up going into round 3. I'll love to see how they play defense this time, if they go with that same strategy or if they go back to a more standard setup.
Back into round 3. compLexity on the defensive side of things. They will favor this 3-man stack onto A yet again. Makes sense for them to send Ricky by his lonesome into B. Does he use an HC this time around? Doesn't appear so as of yet. He peeks on out, almost gets punished by the sniper rifle of Rise Nation. Now cooking a nade. He will fall 3-on-3 after another sniper first blood from compLexity. Parasite's found his way into the water, and this time it could work out perfectly. He's got one player in his sights, cleans up the kill, challenges the second, not going to work out there. And while all that happens, Classic has somehow found himself in an engagement in the water, and just like that, compLexity close out the round. Wow, that closed out quick. I was swapping between players, and before you know it, everything just falls apart for Rise Nation.
You see they're going to get the defuse here in that round pretty quickly. So nice plays by the guys on Cole. We're seeing a lot of different plays on Hunted Search and Destroy than usual.
Yeah, I mean, they've been caught in some awkward timings, like right there. Nameless gets it better. Classic, kind of just because of he got into the water quicker, so Classic was still having to transition from the air into the sea. Gets that kill there. compLexity, realistically, in my eyes, should be up 3-0 in this game, now up 2-1, but this is what we expected. Rise, if they take an S&D off a team like compLexity, I think the series is done. They win this 3-0.
You think, well, I mean, this is kind of what we talk about with Rise all the time. They win Search and Destroy. You figure they put away a lot of their series 3-0.
Yeah, and now they're still down 2-1. I've seen nothing so far this game that would really be convincing as to why Rise Nation should win. They know there's at least one player in the water. That HC doesn't get too much done other than some information. Stuns now being tossed into the red Tiki hut. It's going to be Looney with grenades in. They know there's got to be one player in here. Looney does get first blood finally for Rise. As there's more pressure towards middle map. Classic spots 2. Might know the third player's around the corner. Whoa, that challenge was reckless there for a second. Almost winds up falling there. Still, though, number advantage in favor of Rise. Miracles decides he doesn't want to be on the map anymore. 2v4.
He's tired of playing. He's like,
his hot pocket is done.
I've done
Give
enough
him a
the
second.
first few rounds.
He's got to go to
the bathroom. Yeah, you see Ricky trying to win this gunfight, rotating all the way over towards A, and him and Nameless are in a bad spot right now. I like the decision to try and rotate all the way through, though.
They've got good intentions, but when there's 4 Rise players hunting you, like the hawks they are, soaring down from the sky, Classic hitting shots like that. Beautiful round from him. 2-2, Rise Nation tied up. That was the first round that Rise took in a convincing fashion.
I mean, all they need to do is play aggressive. I feel like sometimes they play too slow.
Yeah.
When they have the gun skill to just kind of run around and just take out anybody. Almost like a GB style of Search and Destroy, I want to say. Right? Like a UMG style of Search and Destroy where a lot of players play a little bit faster.
Yeah. You just kind of, basically Rise are playing wagers at the moment is what it's kind of sounding like. But no, one specialist ready, that's going to be Nameless with Psychosis. Does he elect to use that towards the B bridge this round? Wouldn't surprise me, but instead he's going to peek out with the sniper rifle. That's not how you say that word. Oh, one player challenging from Rise. Who's that actually floating up and down? Oh, well, nice doesn't shot matter. There. It's Classic. He answered my question, but Octane says, anything you can do, I can do better. Makes it a 3-on-3. He'll now peek towards the side. Almost gets the flick shot onto the player watching over B. Miracle's down with the water. He's got one in his sights. Slack takes him down. Number advantage to Rise, but just like that, Ricky trades the kill back out. Looney getting a little bit over aggressive onto B without any help.
Parasite's coming on a long flank with a sniper rifle, so we'll see. He's going to probably play back here, wait for the plant, and then see if players exit out towards the back of cave. But a lot of players are going to play inside of the water and on top of the bomb site. Let's see if he can make anything happen. And interesting, he's not even... The thermals in the game, usually the 2 sites we see thermal barracks, and he's going to recon.
Maybe it's something he's been practicing as of late, wants to see how useful it could be. Prior to stage 1, nice use of the HG to take down Octane. Slack doesn't check his corner. Ricky will get the timing of the century, and just like that, compLexity get another round victory. This defuse will put Ricky 25 points off of an HC, and will also earn himself that Vision Pulse.
Ricky and Parasite, when they're the last 2 left in Search and Destroy, you got to feel pretty good if you're a compLexity fan.
There's few players that
win every 2v2, even 2v3 scenarios. They just know the timings of Search and Destroy so well.
Yeah, I feel like, honestly, think of all the players in the league and the teams. There are few teams or players that you'd want over Ricky and Parasite as your final 2 in a round.
Yeah, no, they're pretty good. I mean, Attach comes to mind in terms of clutching plays individually, but those 2 guys, some of the best. And compLexity going to go on offense. Going to hit over towards that B site. One time I want to see somebody throw in an A hit. I mean, just hit the bridge. It's a lot easier with overdrive, but Namel's going to come around the corner, peek this right away, and it's going to be Psychosis here coming out. So
he's dead.
Yeah, oh no.
Oh my gosh!
Not before he takes out Miracle. So Octane has a nice trade there. Did not expect that to happen, but that's actually huge for Ryze's chance in this round.
I feel like that's a best case scenario for Ryze, though. They got the Psychosis used. They at least traded out a kill. HG should die there momentarily. There it is. Vision Pulse now being popped. That's going to give information on multiple players. Slack didn't get tagged, it appears. Now getting challenged from the bottom water. Classic should punish this player here. Now going to be a 3-on-2. I feel like, yes, you do use camo. He's going to fly right on in. Has 2 players to his left. He peeks 1. Can't get the kill. Ricky somehow takes him down, but Slack is there to follow it on out. Ryze Nation tied this game up 3-3.
And Slack didn't even use his kinetic to pick those up. That's pretty big.
That's huge. They're going to get that HC. Sorry, not going to get the HC. He's going to get closer to the HC. Yeah. Either way, though, they tie the game up 3-3 and keep this one close.
Oh, I feel like the longer this goes, though, and you know the more clutch rounds that come up, you got to favor complexity in those, right?
Well, that was the next point I was going to make, right? I've seen Ryze.
I feel like Ryze
so many times bring it to like 4-4. And then out of nowhere, they decide we no longer need to trade our kills, and they just lose. They lose the final 2 rounds, and the game's over.
So let's see what complexity does on defense. Is this going to be an overkill class out of Nameless?
Yes, it is.
And then is Parasite going to run a sniper as well?
Doesn't appear so. He might swap,
switch classes,
but
potentially.
I don't think so. He hasn't seen anybody, so he still has time.
Or he's going to go on a quick flank. Those are the only things I can think of.
Looney is here, though, this time to try to pick this one up. He will spot
they've been letting Parasite walk through.
Yeah, I guess now they decided they want to do something about it. Ryze get the bomb planted.
Probably trying to bait Parasite
I actually love this decision from Looney. He's still watching this back. For as long as his teammates live, he gets all the information he ever want.
He definitely saw him, right?
Yeah,
there's a player that's actually rotating in the back. It's going to be Octane, yep. Just going to line that shot up. Parasite's probably so confused how
beautiful spot from Slack. He spots a player crossing, cleans up the kill. Nameless gets caught with his pants down. 4-3. Ryze Nation take the lead. I love that decision, Matt, from Looney to adapt. That's a signal of Ryze. Honestly, it sounds funny to say, but small decisions like that are what Ryze have failed to do in other S&D games before.
Well, I also like the fact that he just doesn't shoot when he sees Parasite run by.
Doesn't
calls
panic.
It out to a teammate.
He actually stays laying there.
Yeah, a lot of players would have just, well, you could have thought potentially there's more than one coming on the flank, but
more than one,
a lot of players would have jumped up, shot that player, missed, and then created an awkward gunfight.
Yeah, he could have worried that the more were coming, or he could have thought Parasite maybe realized, I got to cut back to middle, I'm running out of time, and he would have been there to punish him as well. Beautiful stuff from Looney. Nice use of trophy by Slack. Throws down the trophy, Matt. He was 50 points off the dart. 2 nades get blown up. Earns himself the dart. Very, very easy. It's a 3-man push from complexity towards the A site. Looney's here. They also have kinetic armor on Slack to retake this, but if Looney doesn't watch his back in the next couple seconds, he could get punished here for first blood. Oh, no. This is probably the best spot he can find himself in. The dart now called in. They know where it's at. The dart gets shot down. Looney playing the close corner, gets 1 kill. Hasn't spotted the second player. Nade will fly in.
I mean, the dart probably calls these players out.
Oh, definitely. He knew. You could tell how he played it. He knew exactly where they were coming from. And this is very similar to a round earlier this game, Matt, where you've just got Ryze trapped in the back, or complexity trapped in the back of the map.
Yeah, no, Looney's going to be pretty aggressive going all the way out through the back. And C Classic's going to check that A site, knows all the players are in there. But still, 25 seconds left. Not a lot of time for Cole to do work with. Now you see the kinetic armor coming out of Slack. He's able to pick up 2. He's going to earn the lightning as well. Not a great round for complexity. Slack should be a landing
here. What a round.
And it's going to be 5-3 in favor of Ryze with a chance to close it out.
What a round from Slack. I missed one of the kills there, but for the most part, he did all the work for Ryze Nation. Love the teamwork there by Looney to believe in the call-outs he was getting from his team. The dart was called in. He watched his back corner, got that first blood. Now Ryze Nation find themselves in really the best spot they could be in with the potential to go up 2. And I think Slack is streaked out. Yeah, he's got lightning. He's got an HC. Oh, it's a party right now for Ryze Nation.
I think Slack probably saves these for the defensive side of things. And even just the threat of having the lightning kind of forces complexity to rush over to cave or rush over to A. I think it's just that Ryze needs to pick right. And you're going to see Psychosis come out. It's going to bait out some shots. And now Slack going to start to push up. Yeah. Now here you see complexity. No, this one's going over towards A, just trying to figure out the best course of defense. It looks like they're going to give up the site and then play for a retake.
I actually like the decision to go all the way towards the back of the map, but as I say that, Slack drops the lightning down. Ricky gets first blooded. They know where Parasite's at as well. Do you want to see them try to just push him right now, get him taken out? It looks like that's exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah, and once you know a player is playing all the way in the back here, you have that man advantage, you might as well just push him.
Yeah.
And now, with all this control in the back of Cole's base, Cole's actually playing from like the opposite side of the map, so to speak.
This is the third time we've seen this happen where the offensive team is just trapped in the opposing team's
and
spawn.
it's tough because Mirror and Nameless are going to kind of split up and take a site each, and if Rise just selects to hit a site all at once, and you see an HC come in there so they know exactly where Mirror is playing, they're able to win that one without a trade.
This is done, man.
It's going to be a 3v1. Nameless has a lot of work to do here. 18 seconds left. Sees one directly in front of him. Going to get heat wave. Looney's going to win the gunfight. It's going to be Rise Nation winning SND 6-3. Two big wins for Rise in the first two maps. And I tell you what, this could be one where we see it end. It's a Fringe Uplink coming up next. One that the guys on, the guys on Rise are really good on Fringe Uplink.
I didn't even notice that. Yeah. This is the map that I've said. I think two of the times I've seen Rise played this, they won 30-1. Was it against Rush?
Yeah, something like that.
Like 30-1.
I think it was 30-1 exactly.
And then we casted Rise TK on this map, and they won 20-10. So 50 points between the two Uplink games on Fringe I've seen.
Well, this is what's scary about Rise. I mean, they win the Search and Destroy. They can beat anybody 3-0, whatnot, outside of, say, Optic Gaming. I don't think they'd 3-0 Optic Gaming. I think those series are pretty close, but...
Let's look back to UMG South Carolina, where they won in the grand finals, what was it, 4-0? Because
something like that, yeah.
they won the S&D, and then it was just, they just cruised. And it's something that kind of goes back to the likes of even like Optic Gaming at times in Advanced Warfare, right? Where it was for Optic, it was S&D in AW at times where they would struggle. And then for FaZe, it was Uplink, where FaZe would go up 2-0 in series, lose an Uplink, and then before you know it, you're like, oh gosh, this one's going to go on longer.
Yeah.
But what's funny, as we mentioned this time and time again, is like when we bring up the weakness of S&D and the weakness of FaZe's Uplink, they still won like 65% of their S&Ds and 65% of their Uplink.
Right.
So it's tough with those top teams.
Well, you look, I kind of view that as like Search and Destroy against the top teams. Like not really like, I mean, that their win-loss is going to kind of be skewed against the whole bottom portion of the league. But take a look at the stats. Yeah. Slacked was crazy during that one. 10 kills. 4 deaths, 5 plants, and a defuse. On the side of Cole, saw Ricky finish 7-7. He had a few clutch plays. I thought Nameless did some nice things with the sniper rifle. Parasite and Mirror both finished 4-7. It's one that compLexity had control over early. Just Rise made some good adjustments.
Now, let me bring this up with you, because as we go and look back at the highlights of this map, 5 plants from Slack. If you're compLexity, what do you take from that, right?
Well, I feel like
you should be able to get 5 plants.
compLexity gave up the sites and just kind of played for retakes all the time.
And I would assume that did not work out for them. Maybe once or twice.
And they lost the match. Of course, it didn't work out, Jack. What question is that?
Okay, well, now you're just roasting.
Did it work? Well, they lost 6-3, but I thought their strats were great.
All right, you got me on that one. Either way, though, 5 plants from Slack. Basically, every offensive round, it works out for him there. Stuff you definitely don't want to see if you're a fan of compLexity. Now down 2-0, and these guys are not joking around at all.
Yeah, they want to get right into this next game. I saw at the top of my screen, it's like a match starting. I'm like, that is one of the faster match starts we've had here. So we can jump right into the Banner Protect. It's going to be Fringe Uplink coming up next. Shiva Afterburner, first 2 things gone. Fully expect to see Rapid Fire, High Caliber, and then Overdrive go as well. So there you see Rapid Fire. High Caliber could potentially be the next one. You're going to see Flashes go first. So, Flashes, Stuns, High Caliber, Overdrive still on the table.
As we continue on through, there goes the concussion ban. Rise Nation have been getting their way so far in the Ban and Protect phase, getting rid of these tacticals throughout the entire series. To continue on through, Parasite now up. Typically, he's the one to really just throw a wrench into things and change things up. Hasn't done it so far this series. Really, the craziest ban we've seen is the likes of a Blast Suppressor from Ricky last game, and now he'll go with Overdrive, which both teams are probably more than fine with having banned out.
Yeah, I don't think there's any team. Well, I mean, I saw it in Australia where we saw teams protect Overdrive and Overclock and just make crazy games and everything. But that Overclock's still in. You probably expect this one to be the last one out of Nameless.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, you get rid of something like Camo and leave Overclock in.
No. I think they get rid of Overclock. Rise are so more than comfortable with playing with as many specialist abilities as possible. If I'm compLexity, I get rid of Overclock, and that's exactly what they do. They recognize that Rise are definitely very strong in that respect. Now, into the specialist draft, you expect a Camo pickup. You expect a
Camo, Kinetic, Heat Wave, and a Scythe, or
Kinetic.
you can go 2 weapons.
No, I think it's gonna be 3-1 splits. Three abilities versus 1 weapon from these teams.
Well, I think Kinetic and Kinetic and Camo are locks, right?
I think Heatwave's a
And then
lock
I think
as well.
Heatwave
Heatwave
pretty
and
close to a
Uplink.
lock. Well, the one who would have won a weapon out of the guys on Rise, the secondary weapon, would have been Classic. So when he goes Camo, you got to think that you're going to see Looney with Heatwave and then Octane with a Scythe.
Yep. And really, same thing for Nameless right now. Scythe is their final pickup. So it makes sense, right? The three, for many people, the three strongest of the abilities available, and they make the most of it there. Heatwave, Kinetic, Active Camo, and Scythe on both sides of things.
Yep. Rise
Nation up 2-0. We both favored Rise to take this series, but at the same time, I didn't think it would be this easy for the likes of Rise Nation so far. Now, the games have been close at times.
If you're Cole, you want to finish on a hot streak. They lose to Elevate yesterday, 3-1. And to lose this week, finish 0-2, it's not the end to your stage 1 that you want going into the playoffs.
Not fun at all. We talk about momentum heading into stage 1 finals. Stage 1 finals next weekend. You'll definitely want to
It's crazy
stay
how
tuned for that
fast
one.
it's come.
$250,000 to look forward to. A lot of excitement around that one. And we asked earlier on in the show, who is your stage 1 MVP? We have a tweet here from Sundir God, I believe his name is, and he says, Scump or Formal, none even come close to their dominance. I think he's a fan of
I'm shocked we got those responses.
I think he's a fan of Optic.
That's probably the only Scump or Formal response that we got.
Yeah, I think we also have another one possibly coming on in. The commentators are my
you're great.
MVP. Wow,
That guy's
IG
great.
Diffusions. I wish you would adopt me.
Yeah.
And you be my father.
I mean, no, I think I've had a fantastic stage 1. Honestly.
Wow, Matt.
I mean, you guys have been pretty good.
Don't be so humble.
You guys have been pretty good.
Don't be so humble.
I mean,
Matt.
I think personally, though, I have had an unbelievable stage 1.
You know, Matt, if it makes you feel better, I think you've done a great job as well.
No, thank you. I think you've been pretty good, Jack.
I'm actually pretty good. I'll take it pretty good from Matt.
Yeah.
I'll take it pretty good. If there's anything I've learned, it's the slightest thing that can be turned into a compliment, just accept it and move on before it spins away.
I mean, you've been all right. Other than asking me if compLexity is going to use the same exact setup that got them, they got the bomb planted on them 5 times. No, I probably don't think so, Jack.
Are we done?
I guess. Yeah.
Thank you. Before this turns into a hate on Jack Fest, because it's happened before.
I would never do anything like that. We can go. It's going to be a Fringe Uplink Game 3. Rise with a chance to close this series out against compLexity. compLexity, I think, needs some kind of momentum going into the Stage 1 finals right now. It's just not looking good on their side of things. And this is a team that, it's scary. They're like, remember Curse Las Vegas? I feel like Curse Las Vegas could like win an event or they could like bomb out early. I feel the same way about this compLexity team. It's like they have the potential. You know, you see it sometimes where they can take out the top dogs, and then other times they just don't look like they're there.
They need David Vonderhaar to appear from the clouds and bless them on this map if they want to take this off Rise. If not, if that doesn't happen, if David Vonderhaar doesn't appear in-game right now, then there's no way they win this map. I have Rise taking this one 3-0 with the swiftness. We're watching Rise off the start. Classic. He's got the Man of War, and he's got, well, the scent of blood he's looking for, and unfortunately,
Let's go
compLexity's
through
on the
some
map.
of the players and see what the gun split is. So you see Classic with Man of
they
War.
are. It's
Yeah, I mean,
3-1.
you're going to see 3 and 1 on both sides. I'm just interested to see Man of War versus M8. So
It's
Classic
heavy
is,
M8.
Yeah, this map I think would be heavy M8, but Classic's going to go Man of War. Probably just because he's going to be a little bit more aggressive towards the other team's base. And you can still get aggressive with an M8, but I feel like the Man of War, obviously fully automatic. You can do some really nice things close quarters going over by Grandma.
Thankfully, for compLexity, they actually killed the drone carrier, who was Octane, as he rotated towards small fence. But I still can't believe teams don't pick up on how Rise Nation plays from the barn side of Uplink. Their #1 priority is to kill the flanking submachine gun player who is trying to push through rails. Miracles gets shut down instantly there. Octane always wins the gunfight middle map, so they go grab the drone, try to push the objective right away. They're getting some entry kills towards Grannies. Slack finds one himself. Looney now pushing up with this objective, and there's a scoring opportunity already for Rise Nation after just the first minute of play. And it goes on in. Rise up 1-0.
Yeah, it's a nice play by Looney there to just go with the throw at the end. Was not going to make it. There were 2 or 3 players from compLexity set up in the back over by Globe and putting down some shots on him. He just goes for that 1-point throw at the last few seconds, and You never know when those one-pointers just come up big at the end, right? How many teams have we seen, miss one-pointers or try and force in a 2? They don't get it when they could have gotten a 1, and then they end up losing the game by 1, 2 points. So that big play there by Looney put his team on the board first, and that's going to be a 3 dead. They know where Parasite is, so I'm surprised we're not seeing them get a little bit more aggressive. And you see Octane's going to push up to that mid truck, now get drone control, and he's going to toss it by tracks to a teammate.
Do you think Octane's class right now is set up for him to just have long-range engagements? He's got no secondary weapon, only 2 perks, and it's just a stacked-up M8 class to just win every gunfight from range. Classic, beautiful job with that very mobile man-o'-war weapon to get the gunfight win up close. Look at Octane challenging back rails. He will just shred any player who peeks at him. I believe he's got stock, reflex, grip, quick draw, all on this weapon.
He doesn't need to
red dot.
push up and win those engagements around the objective.
Oh, gosh.
Quite frankly, I mean, you don't want a player like Octane to focus on the objective. You want him to just lock down one side of the map or lock down mid-map, just take out players with the AR. So Octane, I'm a fan of that class. I mean, he could always kill a SMG player and pick up a VMP. I mean, that's something that we say that's kind of like, I mean, we don't even really talk about it, but I mean, it makes a lot of sense in terms of game. Like, you kill a guy, why not just pick up the secondary weapon just to have it? But
does Looney use heat wave?
Doesn't even come into play.
Nope.
No, that was a gunfight he was going to win. He has 2 teammates backing him up. You see Classic's going to pop his camo. It's going to be a 2-point play for Rise Nation. So they're going to jump out to a 5-0 lead here the first half. And I think they're going to have Classic sit up here top Grandma. They're going to try and pass him the drone.
Oh, this is another dunk. They're just going to keep rallying this in now. Pass forward. This is what makes Rise Nation so lethal. It's 7-0 after 3 minutes of gameplay. There hasn't even been an opportunity for compLexity to grab the drone. I actually don't think compLexity have picked up this objective outside of maybe 2 or 3 seconds where it was
it's been Looney in the back of the base. He's on a 6 streak right now.
Well, watch this. Oop, and there's the dunk.
He's going to earn himself an HC. He's going to get close. Oh, that's actually
Look
the
at where
other player
compLexity are on the
scored.
map.
Getting closer to an HC. And you see that melee coming in with the slide. That is, obviously, with the last update, they got rid of that little slide boost that you could do. The melee with it gives it the same kind of effect it used to have.
Yep. Octane, beautiful job stopping that drone from going in. He'll pick up the objective and begin to flood on forward on the map. Slack still somehow finding kills right outside of Granny's, now 9-0. I mean, Hellstorm's being dropped in. This is just getting out of hand quick. Classic now with the objective. He can go for the long one. Instead, the Lightning will come on down on the map. Kills going in favor of Rise, but there's the dunk anyway.
Doesn't matter. It's going to be 11-0 with a minute to go here. Side number 1. On the side of compLexity, Ricky struggling a little bit. We talked about how he's improved in respawn game modes. Right now, 4-9 at this moment in time. But I really think it's just been more of what Rise has done right. I don't really think you can kind of hold that one against Ricky. Rise has had control of the compLexity base pretty much this entire first half.
Every time I watch Rise in Uplink, Rise, this might sound weird to say, Rise, I think, are the best team in Uplink, right, in Black Ops 3. Optic, because of their slaying power, just makes them so darn good at Uplink. Does that make sense? Like, Rise know exactly how to pass, how to move, how to set up, where they need to be, what they need to watch at all times. Optic just kill everything so that and then they score the drone after. That's why Rise beats teams like 30-1, because their primary objective is always scoring. Even hitting that one, that's one of the tougher ones you can hit in the game.
Classic's really good at the 1-point throws.
Yeah.
It seems like it should be kind of easy, but a lot of players we see miss them. And you see the drones actually picked up there by Looney in the final seconds, and not sure if that went through.
13-0, Matt. It's a close game.
Not a very competitive first half.
I got to ask the chat a question. Chat, press 1 if you scored as many points on that side of Uplink as compLexity. Because I did. You did as well. We all did.
It's a tough goal for this compLexity team.
I don't know how else to put it. Because they didn't win the S&D, now they're facing a 2-0 Rise Nation in their best game.
Cole won the Uplink yesterday against Elevate, and Elevate's a very good Uplink team. Might just be the map that's really kind of thrown Cole for a loop. When you get 3 great ARs on a map like Fringe, Cole has some pretty good AR players as well, but I think Slack Classic and Octane probably win then 3 AR battle. It's going to be very difficult.
There are maps in COD games, right, Matt? And I'm sure you experienced this when playing with compLexity, where teams just get the map. They're just the best at it. There's no question. For Rise, for me, their quality map is this one, Fringe Uplink. In Advanced Warfare, it was Optic Gaming with Retreat Hardpoint, and that was just their map. When you saw it, you knew it was a win. I'm getting that same feeling for Rise now on Fringe. They did what compLexity couldn't do in the first 5 minutes of Side 1, and that's score on this barn side, 14
They
to 0
start
now.
spawning him back alley, and they get that AR pressure in the back. This could get much uglier. And some teams do have their favorite maps, so to speak.
Yep.
I mean, you saw last year, I thought Optic Gaming was really good on like Solar Hardpoint. We talked about compLexity, from Black Ops 2.
Solar strikes me a little bit more as for a phase map.
Yeah, Phase pretty good, that one.
That was like Phase's bread and butter last year, but
you saw compLexity in Black Ops 2 really good on Yemen. Like a lot of people didn't play Yemen. They were very good. And I mean, just look at Freako Impact. They were fantastic in S&D. So obviously, every top echelon team has their strongest game modes and maps. Now, this is definitely one of Rise's.
there's the dunk, 16 to 2. This one is done. 3.5 minutes left. Rise are going to continue rallying this drone forward. Looney now going to go for the long range one, or no, you know what?
No, they have him spawning back alley. Classic's back there
well.
just churning through players with a Man of War. He's going to drop, but they're going to get a 2-point play. Anyway, it's going to be 18 to 2, 3 minutes and 10 to go, and Rise just putting the hurt on compLexity.
I don't know what else to say other than I don't think I've ever casted Rise on this map where they haven't scored near 20+ points each time.
Yeah, I mean, it's impressive, especially do it against the likes of compLexity, who's been a pretty good team. Now, stage 1, right? They beat Optic in phase, both of those teams, giving Optic one of their 2 losses. So they see the potential with this team, just not living up to it right now as Rise looking to close this one out 3-0.
There's the long range one from Looney. He connects with it as well. You see the power of Rise's ability to hit the long range ones. Now compLexity finally on the offensive. Nameless gets EMP'd. He's got basically a clear route right to the portal, especially if he uses that wall run off the silo. It's exactly what he does. 19 to 4. compLexity trying to at least save some face here in this one.
Well, they'd have to create a crazy relay scenario over by Grandma, which is possible.
It is.
But they just need to get more than one player alive. I feel like when they've been picking up some kills and moving forward, it's really only been one guy with the drone pushed up into the base, getting off like a long or 1-point throw. You see Looney's actually going to get heat wave, but that player's going to get taken out in the process. Well, they're spawning over in that back barn area. It's going to be difficult then to rotate back. And you see actually Looney stops himself from going through, waiting for some of the players to come back to the base. Fantastic play by Looney, and Slack gets into top barn, and he has just caused so much trouble. The guys on Rise Nation just clicking in this one. See Streaks coming down now as well. They're trying to just punish compLexity at this moment. This is like you just keep pouring it on, and it's just demoralizing, and it's just not fun to play against.
This is a statement game right now. They are the captains now, is what would be said in this moment. They are in control of compLexity's base. I think compLexity are now spawning on Redwood. That's how far they're spawning in.
No, they just keep spawning in that back alley, and it is just torture. I mean, it's one of the better spawn traps that we have, I think, in Black Ops 3, where you spawn the team back alley and you can get a guy in those back rocks. Those, even behind the truck, those gunfights are near impossible to win. And you don't win the gunfights rotating, going in a dub and brick, and this is what happens.
This got out of hand quick. It was the first score for Rise, and it was 25 more points after that one. This is the 3rd push we've seen from compLexity so far this game with the drone. Ricky now pushing up. He's got the objective, and he gets tagged up. Rise doing a great job holding their base, and this one is over. 30 seconds remaining. GG Rise Nation, 26 points on the board, near matching their 30-point performance we saw on this map earlier in stage 1.
They're still going for more. They don't care that they're up by this much. They want to get near that 30-point mark again. You see Looney with a heat wave, and he's just going to run by this one player. I believe Slack actually takes him out from behind. They're going to get a 2-point play. So trying to get to that 30, not going to be able to do so. It's going to be Rise taking Uplink Fringe 28 to 4. Nobody wants to see them on this map come stage 1 playoffs. It's a scary sight.
If I'm Rise, I'm doing my best to convince people to change the rule set to just be Fringe Uplink played every game. If Fringe Uplink is played every game, Rise is the best team in Black Ops 3.
Yeah, that's a valid statement, but
wow. That was brutal. Rise Nation 28 to 4. They got the hardpoint win on that final hill from Looney. Once they did that, you knew they were going to look good. Then they began clutching up in the S&D, really just led by great first bloods and winning rounds off of it. And then finally, in the uplink, it was just a slaughter. Rise win that one to finish out their COD World League Stage 1 compLexity and holding that L.
You know, compLexity, they're a team though that can go into stage 1 finals. They
Yep.
can definitely shock some people. Very good in search and destroy.
Yeah.
Didn't really see that tonight, but they're a very good S&D team. I think, you know, they steal some of these respawn game modes. They can definitely be a team that upsets one of the top teams.
Yeah, for sure. You got to look for them to do something like that at stage 1. As we take a look at your after-action report to just see how it wound up breaking down for Rise Nation. Should have this loaded up on here momentarily. That's just our first match of the night. Still a lot to look forward to. Up next, Optic Gaming versus TSM. Here now is your after-action report. Look at that. Positive 14 from Octane, positive 10 from Slack. I mean, overall, they go positive 30 plus in the slaying department. They outscore their opponents by 24 points. Nothing bad to take away from that match.
Nope, nothing really to kind of talk about. Well, I mean, obviously, Rise was just fantastic. All of the players contributed pretty much evenly. Nothing to really talk about on the side of compLexity. They were kind of trapped in their base all game long. Just fantastic map control, slaying by Rise, and compLexity just really didn't have an answer.
Yep. Here's a look at the highlights. I have a feeling it's going to be pretty Rise Nation heavy as we get ready to get our second match prepared of the night. This one, I don't know how much closer it's going to be than the series we just saw. Optic Gaming on a tear. They haven't lost since, I believe, 2012. So this team is looking to finish out as the only squad with 20 wins in Stage 1 of Black Ops 3, and I have a feeling they're going to do it, man.
I think so as well. You just, top to bottom, this roster is just so talented. And they never have, I mean, outside of obviously the 2 nights they lose a Game 5 to compLexity, and they lose in a 4, I believe, to DT. They only win the search and destroy in that. Outside of those 2 games, this is a team that brings it every night.
They definitely do. That's the end of our first series of the evening. Rise Nation take it 3-0 over to compLexity. Up next, Optic Gaming versus TSM for our second match of the night. We'll see you there.